I think the Michelin guide for us is the most important thing. They always say that we're supposed to cook for our guests and not for the guide, so that's what we do.
So for me personally, I'm very excited. Always when I'm traveling, I think this is one of the most trustful sources to obtain information on interesting restaurants.
Working at a restaurant that has a star in the Guide Michelin, you have to have quite restrictive routines that make sure that you don't make errors, because otherwise you could lose your star. And I think that since here at Törnströms we have very strong routines that we have to follow, and I think that makes me a more organized working chef as well.
The Michelin Guide is the guide for true food tourists and foodies. We usually have these guests coming from abroad, but some Finnish travel for the stars too.
Creo que la guía Michelin es una gran herramienta para los restaurantes y cocineros de cualquier país y ciudad, ya que mucha gente dedica su turismo a la gastronomía específicamente, y esta es una gran guía para llegar a estos lugares.
Michelin is considered as the most serious and reliable restaurant in Switzerland. Having one or more stars brings immediate media coverage, and along with Goemio, it is probably the most important for high-end restaurants.
Bueno, yo creo que las guías internacionales como la guía Michelin para Coque, para mi restaurante, es una guía que te expone a los clientes, a los buenos gourmet, ¿no? A los clientes que les gusta la buena gastronomía. Y es un punto a tener muy en cuenta por la exigencia que exige, ¿no? La alta cocina, y también por la calidad y por el servicio. En nuestro caso es bueno estar dentro de la guía para que el cliente pueda visitarnos cuando viene a Madrid.
Going from having big media companies needing to represent your restaurant to doing it yourself, it's actually made life a lot easier for chefs.
At Törnströms Shack we don't really change ourselves for social media. Our dining room is quite dark. It's very hard to take good pictures in here. We played it for their experience and not for their phone's experience.
Hay que cuidarlo mucho, hay que tener una buena estrategia y sobre todo hay que comunicar las cosas en los horarios que hay que hacerlo y cómo hay que hacerlo, ¿no? Y tampoco poner publicidad o poner fotografías por poner, ¿no? Sino hacerlo con detalle y luego contestar a toda la gente que hace un comentario.
The sake is getting popular all over the world, but many people don't know what it is, what it tastes like. So SNS gives you a lot of information about sake, and people become interested in sake.
In our restaurants, we use Facebook and Instagram mainly on a daily basis. It is for us an essential media. It permits us to communicate directly with our customers and very easily. So yes, I think it's important.
Hoy en día creo que las redes sociales son uno de los elementos más importantes que tenemos, o las herramientas más importantes que tenemos como cocineros, ya que podemos mostrar nuestro trabajo, expresar todas las ideas que tenemos y que la gente nos conozca.
Social media nowadays it's very important. In these days, internet and all webs, Twitter, Instagram are necessary to have a dialogue with our world, and for us, for the chefs and restaurants, are very important to show our work and to create an intention to come to our restaurant.
If you want to be on the world's 50 best, it's a whole different criteria. I think you have to cook more for the critics from that list than actually the guests that visit the restaurant.
The world 50 best listing is still pretty unknown in Finland. The Finland 50 best restaurant by Food Camp is better known in list and highly appreciated, and including something for everyone, from restaurant, from fine dining to bistro experience.
Creo que la lista de 50 Best de San Pellegrino también es un lugar donde puedes encontrar los restaurantes y cocineros que tienen más influencia en el mundo de la gastronomía.
In my opinion, it's even more trustful than Michelin guide. So, because in Michelin guide, so sometimes from country to country, the restaurants differ from continent to continent. So, like 1-star Michelin in a European country means maybe something else than one in South Africa. Yeah.
I have the feeling that compared to a few years ago, 50 Best has lost a little bit of influence, but still for top-notch restaurants, I imagine it is very important.
We've gone from doing little neighborhood restaurants to being in the public eye, being public property pretty much as chefs. I feel food critics are important in a sense of, if you look at eating guides, but it's also responsible for a lot of extra stress in a very stressful environment already.
When you're young, you really want to do well, and you don't sleep at night when you know you've had a critic. And now, a few years older, it doesn't mean that much to me. That of course I want to do well, but I still sleep at night.
For a rating system, it needs to be there, but also the criteria of and the background from the food critic is very important.
In our region, newspapers and magazine critics are very important for the local businesses and also the local customers. Every article in one of those medias brings us immediate increase of customers.
Otherwise, I think magazines might be a little bit in the past because because of limited timing. So they're mostly there for 1 month or for 1 week, and then they have been thrown out.
When a restaurant gets a good review, it can very much heighten the mood of the restaurant, but I think that's also the downside, since if one restaurant gets a bad review, and since there's just one person writing in the magazine, it's a very subjective point of view, and also that bad rumor comes out to so many people and can really ruin things for a restaurant.
That said, I think we're more dependent on TripAdvisor and foreigners, tourists that will find us that way. I think the local people know that we are here, and they're not so concerned about what the media is writing actually.
Kobe is really famous for Kobe beef and sake. Japan is a country that many people want to go, but it must be difficult to understand Japanese culture, Japanese food. To solve this problem, TripAdvisor will be able to play an important role.
Si te gusta ver qué comentarios hacen los propios clientes que pagan la factura. Y para mí creo que es bueno porque es una crítica constructiva, tanto si es mala como si es buena. Y hay veces que bueno, nosotros ponemos también esas críticas dentro de la cocina para hablarlo con el equipo, para cómo poder mejorar o reflexionar sobre esa crítica.
Creo que los blogueros y plataformas como TripAdvisor son una gran fuente de comunicación, ya que las recomendaciones se hacen de boca en boca, y qué mejor que verlo desde tu celular o desde tu computadora. Hoy en día creo que es la forma más fácil de saber la opinión de las personas en cada restaurante.
I'm often that way, that I don't feel like expressing my opinion to the waiter or to the kitchen staff. Like I feel bad about hurting them maybe. I'm not a person that writes reviews, but if you are a person like me who feels bad about expressing your opinion then and there, maybe writing a mail or writing on TripAdvisor could be a way to tell them that you weren't pleased with something.
For me, as a restaurant owner, TripAdvisor is simply a nightmare, but still myself, when I go abroad or you have a new restaurant, I do like everyone, I go and watch on it, so I think this explains it all.
Pues los foodies influencers son las personas que ahora mismo tienen más libertad, ¿no? Antes te venía un crítico gastronómico y le tenías identificado y un poco, bueno, pues te preparabas un poco más, ¿no? Pero ahora, como algunos son más conocidos, otros son menos, lo que tenemos que hacer es hacerlo bien. Entonces todos los días estar bien preparados, tanto la calidad, el servicio, la técnica, y da igual que venga un foodie, que venga un cliente, que venga un crítico, porque siempre estás dando lo mismo.
Foodies and bloggers are not so important, not so numerous in our region, probably because the French part of Switzerland is a special area and is not so big. But still, the one we have are more specialists who talk to specialists. So it is also somehow important to construct your image.
I don't think it's a good idea to pay people to come to your restaurant and to maybe upload pictures or something like that. People have enough of a objective view that they can see through if you're buying maybe followers or paying people to come to your restaurant. And also I don't think those people that would be paid to come for your restaurant are the people that you might want to have dining at your restaurant.
I know you have these whole grain baguette, half baguettes.